What if everything you know, your memories, your experiences, even your thoughts, isn't real? What if it's all just code in a highly sophisticated computer system simulating your perception of reality? This isn't just the plot of The Matrix. It's a serious idea being discussed by some of the world's most brilliant thinkers.
So, if you assume any rate of improvement at all, then games will be indistinguishable from reality. Or civilization will end. One of those two things will occur. Therefore, we are most likely in a simulation.
The simulation hypothesis suggests that everything we perceive, this world, the universe, even our own consciousness, might not be what it seems. Instead, it could be an artificial reality created by a much more advanced civilization. The simulation hypothesis proposes a radical but fascinating idea that our universe may not be the original or base reality, but rather a highly advanced computer simulation created by intelligent beings. This theory has moved beyond the realm of science fiction to become a legitimate philosophical and scientific discussion. The idea gained widespread attention after Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom laid out a compelling trilemma. He argues that one of the following three statements is almost certainly true. Civilizations go extinct before developing the capacity to create such simulations. Civilizations with this capacity choose not to run ancestor simulations. We are almost certainly living in a simulation. If the first two options are unlikely, then the third becomes the most probable. This isn't just a fun thought experiment, it has profound implications. If we are in a simulation, it challenges everything we believe about consciousness, morality, free will, and the nature of existence itself. Imagine discovering that everything you've ever experienced, the joy, the pain, the memories, was artificially generated. That would change how we view not just science, but also religion, ethics, and identity. From a practical standpoint, it pushes us to reevaluate how we approach research in physics, artificial intelligence, and consciousness. Are the laws of physics actually laws, or are they just programmed parameters? Are we discovering truths, or simply uncovering the rules of the simulation?
Elon Musk says that we're living in a simulation. He's not the only person that theorizes this. Basically, we're in a video game being controlled by higher beings, and we're all just like in Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, I wish I had a good argument against that hypothesis, and I do not.
One of the most well-known supporters of the simulation hypothesis is Elon Musk, who has famously stated that the odds we are living in base reality are 1 in billions. He argues that if technological progress continues at its current pace, it's inevitable that civilizations will create simulations indistinguishable from reality. Let's think about how far we've come. A few decades ago, video games were blocky pixels. Today, virtual reality and AI are creating incredibly lifelike experiences. In another 100 or even 50 years, what will we be capable of? Could we simulate entire universes with conscious beings who don't know they're simulated? If future civilizations run countless simulations, the number of simulated realities would far exceed the number of base realities, making it statistically likely we're in one of the simulations. This idea isn't new. In fact, versions of it have existed for thousands of years. Plato's allegory of the cave described prisoners who could only see shadows on a wall, believing them to be reality, unaware of the true world outside. René Descartes, the 17th century philosopher, questioned whether he could trust his senses at all, proposing the possibility of a deceiving demon manipulating his perceptions. The simulation hypothesis is a modern technological expression of these ancient philosophical questions. What is reality? How can we be sure of anything? Are we living in an illusion? We don't have the ability to create full-scale conscious simulations yet, but we're moving in that direction. Virtual reality, the VR. Today's VR can already fool our senses with immersive worlds that feel real. And as this technology improves, so does the plausibility of simulated realities. Artificial intelligence. AI systems are becoming increasingly complex, capable of learning, adapting, and even mimicking human-like behavior. If AI continues to evolve, what separates a simulated mind from a real one? Video games and simulated worlds. Games like The Sims, Second Life, and open-world RPGs already let users live alternative lives inside digital environments. These are primitive compared to what might be possible in the future, but they show what direction we're heading. These developments highlight that building a simulated universe isn't a fantasy. It's a technological trajectory we are already on. Despite its appeal, the simulation hypothesis has many critics. One major objection is that it's unfalsifiable, meaning there's no way to test or disprove it. In science, a theory needs to be measurable and testable. Since we can't directly observe the code or the outside of the simulation, the idea currently sits in philosophical territory rather than scientific. Others argue that even if we could simulate reality, that doesn't mean someone has. Just because something is possible doesn't mean it's probable. It could be that running ancestor simulations is considered unethical, pointless, or too resource-intensive by future civilizations. There are also ethical concerns. If a simulation can contain conscious beings, people who suffer, feel joy, and live complex lives, what responsibility does the creator have? Would it be morally wrong to create simulated beings capable of pain? Even if we never prove the simulation hypothesis, its implications are far-reaching. It raises questions about consciousness. Can something non-biological ever truly be alive? Are our choices our own, or are we following lines of code? It alters how we see meaning and purpose. If we're in a simulation, does life lose significance or gain a new kind? So, are we living in a video game? The truth is, we don't know, and we might never know. But by exploring this idea, we open ourselves to some of the most profound questions humans can ask. Whether it's true or not, the simulation hypothesis invites curiosity, humility, and a deeper appreciation for the mystery of existence. If this video made you question your reality, give it a like and subscribe for more content that explores the edges of science, technology, and philosophy.
Right. Imagine a day where you can simulate a world so perfectly with life forms, humans, so well that you can recreate every single neurosynaptic thought you could have, but now you're in the simulation on the computer.
So,
including the perception of free will.
Let us know in the comments. Do you think we're living in a simulation? And remember, sometimes the most powerful question isn't what is real, it's what if it's not?